We're going to go ahead and get started then. Hello, hello, hello. Today I am here with Marta, and we are going to be talking about our Love GPS. This is going to be so much fun. For those of you that don't know me, I am Sabrina Victoria. I am the host here at Her Talk Show. And if you're not already subscribed, girl, hit that subscribe button. These podcasts are guaranteed to have you thinking differently about life. Let's jump right in.
Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
If you're listening live, welcome. And if you are listening on the replay, make sure you drop in the comments and say hello. We have had over 500 women on this virtual stage, and we are adding another one to the list today. Marta, through her own transformative journey and personal relationships, she discovered a profound passion for assisting women in their own love lives. Over the years, she has provided guidance to friends, family, and colleagues, witnessing their successes and growth. Realizing the potential to help a wider community, she pursued a master's in psychology and became certified as a life and relationship coach. Now, Marta is dedicated to empowering women on their relationship journey. Welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited, very humbled to be on the podcast like this. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I think this is so important, this topic, right? Because relationships is what we are as humans. I think as humans, we're supposed to be in community. We're supposed to be in friendships, relationships, love ships. It's just part of, I think, human nature, right?
Yeah, it's part of who we are. We are definitely animals that live in the group, in the pack. And we all want to be loved. We all want to be loved. And no matter what we say, it's like you said, friendship, love, and mother, daughter or sons, and romantic relationships. We crave that connection on that level.
Yeah.
So yeah, I that's I'm very passionate about it, about the topic, and about helping women.
That's awesome. Fantastic. I know that we're opening up with finding your way with Love GPS, which I just love the sound of that. Can you give us a rundown of what this means? What is Love GPS?
Well, Love GPS is, as it says, GPS. It's when I thought about how to name my group and what I do, I just figured out, it just came to me, because same as you put GPS in your car, right, to tell you directions, which way to go. That's my job here at Love GPS, to sort of listen to you, the problem, and show you directions, which way to go. So this is what it's about. You getting directions, you getting the way, the best way, or the shortest way, most convenient way to get from where you are to where you want to be.
Very, very awesome. I would love for you to talk a little bit about your own journey.
Yes. So I always laugh that my journey in connection to GPS was, how you put directions in your GPS, and you have 3 different choices. You have the shortest way, like the middle one, and the longest one. So I always laugh that my way is always the longest one. That's why, I want women not to take the long way, because I took it, I've learned from it, and now I'm here to support women in finding the shortest and the best way to their destination. So my journey, I came here to this country. I was born and raised in Poland, and I came here after I finished high school. But just to make a long story short, but I came here pregnant at 19, and I had a child. I had a son, and the relationship with his father didn't really work out. And as a child who dealt, as a person and an adult maybe, who dealt with abandonment in my life, I had this I want to say attraction to people who eventually would leave me. So I just, not even knowing about it, just subconsciously, I was attracted to the guys who didn't really have much to offer. Let's put it this way. So throughout, mistakes and trials and disappointments and heartbreaks, I finally decided I want to figure this out. And since I was always interested in psychology, I went back to school, and I did my master's in psychology, just because I wanted to know why people act the way they do, what makes people work the way they work, why one person from the same household, let's say we have siblings, why one person is maybe completely different than the other. And that helped me in figuring out my own life, and helped me in figuring out what I want, and how do I notice red flags in other people, and how do I know if I should pursue a relationship with a person, or I should just not even, worry about it. So right now I'm happily married with 2 additional kids, and I have 3 boys altogether. And I'm here, to help other women to figure out what took me so many years to figure out. It's in much shorter time.
Beautiful. I want to talk a little bit about the red flags, because I think so often we talk about the red flags in past tense, like I saw the red flags, but didn't know they were red flags, or ignored the red flags. So, we have a ton of people watching live, speaking to those who maybe are just entering a relationship, or maybe questioning a relationship. What are a couple of pretty big red flags that you see your clients sometimes totally ignoring, and then wasting so much of their time?
Yes. So I think the biggest one that I notice is control, which we often mistake for love, unfortunately. So that's a big one. If your partner is controlling in a way that they all the time want to spend time with you, you can't go anywhere. There's I don't want to say maybe a problem in the beginning, especially, but they act as if they are maybe hurt or sad. If you go hang out with your girlfriends, that's a red flag. Because in order to grow, we need to be allowed to go and live our life and have a partner who trusts us enough, and we trust them back, to be allowed to go, and explore your hobbies and passions, and not and that starts very subtle, and it has a tendency to grow into like more and more. Then you can see your family members, then you can't, there's problem going to work, you can talk, why is your boss emailing you? So but it starts very subtle. So that's one that it's definitely there. If you feel in your gut that something is not working, listen to your gut. And I know, like you said, very often we say, I thought I saw it, but then I didn't think that it was going to be a problem, or if it's going to accelerate so much. But just being honest with yourself. Don't just have a relationship in order to have a relationship. Have a relationship that you want to have, and be with somebody who respects you and allows you to grow and trusts you, and then you can trust them back. So yes, control is a big one. I want to say another one is being sure of yourself. I mean, it can be attractive, outgoing, that outgoing type of person when you meet, who, they walk in the room and everybody sort of stops, but it can become really distracting in a relationship. It can become competition, who's better in the relationship. That's another one. And of course, how the people that you meet talk about other people. Let's say you go to a restaurant, are they nice to the waiter or the waitress? How they talk about their friends, how they talk about their family members. That's a big one too. So yeah, I think that the three are the most common ones that I see helping or working with women, because they are so, like I said, subtle, that sometimes you don't, it's hard to recognize if it's just, let's say, a complaint, or if it's something that has to do with the way that person is.
Beautiful. When you said sometimes control can be misread for love, just to kind of dig in a little bit deeper with that, what does that mean? How are we misconstruing control and thinking that it's love? Like, what's an example of that?
Well, let's say being with somebody who tells you that they want to be with you all the time, right?
Okay.
So we think, oh my God, he is so into me. Like, he does not see a world behind me or around me. They just want to be with me. They must love me so much. In the meantime, it's very often that the person only wants to be with us because they don't want us to be with anybody else. So that's when the control comes in. So they can go out and, let's say, do things, but when it comes to us, every time, let's say you say, hey, I was thinking about hanging out with the girls tonight, they're gonna play a card. Oh, but I really, really wanted to stay with you. I really, really wanted us to watch a movie. Actually, talking about it, another one that I just remembered is not really going out anywhere, just staying inside, just the two of us. That's another red flag that I would look at for.
Yeah. And even lack of money, right? Like, even if you as a couple are lacking in, like, we're not saying you have to go out and spend a ton of money, but just in general, like, you're not even going to the park, you're not even going for a walk, you're not even meeting up at the beach with friends, sharing a huge watermelon. Just sitting at home.
It doesn't have to be going out and splurging. It's like every time you meet, you staying either at your place or his place.
Yeah, exactly. I really like how you are mentioning the kind of carrot, because that actually happened in my last relationship, and I kind of forgot about that. And I didn't really recognize it until a few years in. Every single time I was making plans to do anything other than hang out with him, then all of a sudden, that was the day that he was gonna like treat me to a fancy dinner, or, go downtown and go to a comedy club. He just happened to be on the website looking at tickets that day. Like, and it takes a while, right? Because you're seeing it as like, oh yeah, I'll cancel with my friend. Yeah, I'll tell her that I can just hang out with her next week and no big deal. Yeah, let's do the thing. But you're so like focused on this really cool thing that's just suddenly popped up, that it takes a second for you to start to realize like, oh my gosh, I can't go out with anybody. I can't do anything.
Yes, definitely. You have to look if this is a pattern.
Yeah.
Right? Then you're gonna know, because it's sometimes it could be coincidence that this happens, but if it happens every time you want to do something, then is it coincidence? You know what I mean? Or is it really made up story to keep you away from other people?
Yeah.
To keep you in that control. So yeah, a lot of times we think, oh my God, he loves me so much, right?
Yeah.
He treats me to these beautiful, special events or happenings. But then when we just sit down and sort of, bring yourself back to reality, is it happening every time I want to go out? Or is it happening just like once in a while? It can happen, obviously. Like I said, there could be some kind of coincidence. But yeah, so the pattern is the clue here.
Absolutely. Great insight on that, for sure, that I think a lot of women can kind of think about, because that's what this really is. It's really like just giving you an idea so that you can reflect on your own relationship. Is that something that you're dealing with? Or maybe not at all, right? And you're in the clear. But until somebody brings it to your attention, then you can start to reflect and be like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Not even realizing.
Yes, exactly.
I know you talk a lot about a person's attachment style.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
Yes. So I did not know it until I found out about it. I did not know it for a big part of my life. And once I learned about attachment styles, I right away realized that this is like the first step that everybody should know, men and women, before they start dating or while they dating and things are not working out. Sit down and just figure out, first thing, what is your attachment style? Because that answers a lot of questions. So we have the secure attachment style. We have three main ones. We have the secure attachment style, which everybody wants to meet and everybody wants to be. That's the best one, for the lack of other words. That's the one when you are open with other people, you don't play any games, you are very sure of yourself and what you have to give, and you sort of expect the same thing from your partner, because the attachment styles can influence how we view intimacy, the way we deal with conflicts, our attitude towards sex, how we communicate, with each other, how we communicate our wishes and expectations from the relationship and the partner. So the secure attachment is very open. Like I said, they don't play games because they don't think that games are going to bring them anywhere or get them anybody who's better. They just sort of very level-headed people who we can rely on. Then the next one is the anxious attachment style. I feel like I see the anxious ones the most, I want to say, in women.
Okay.
That's an attachment when we are very afraid of losing somebody, and we don't think, if we, let's say, in a relationship that we don't feel comfortable in, that in some way is not good for us, we have the tendency to think that if we break up with this person, there's nothing else for us out there. So these attachment styles very often tend to settle for a relationship just because they don't think that they can find anybody else.
Got it.
And they do take a lot of bullshit. And, they do take the people back, and they try over and over and over again with the same person. And the third attachment style is the avoidant. The avoidant is the one who gets closer to you and then moves back, gets closer to you and then moves back. So a lot of time being with a person who has avoidant attachment style is very confusing.
Confusing.
They just told me that they love me, and now I've been calling them for a week and they're not picking up.
Wow.
They just told me that they want to be with me for the rest of their life, and now they ghosting me. So these are the three ones. So if you know yours, it's very beneficial to enter or to maintain the relationship that you are in, because you know what to pay attention to. And same thing, it's great to know your partner's attachment style as well, so you can figure out why they react in the way that they react. So that's like the first thing. When I have a client, what we do, except for obviously, listening to the story, the problem, what they want to change in their relationship journey, this is the first thing, the first homework that I give them the the attachment style questionnaire that I can do, and then we go over it, and then we figure out the next steps and how to sort of go back to the root of how our attachment style developed, and if it's as long as it's secure, if it's avoidant or anxious, what to do to bring it as close to the secure attachment style as possible.
Wow, very, very interesting. Are you supposed to, I mean, I feel like to link up with somebody who's anxious or avoidant would be so time exhausting. But are there like two that should go together? Or are you supposed to link up with the same, or are you supposed to change? Like, what's the ideal here?
Well, so it's going to be very hard to link up avoidant and avoidant, because it's never going to happen, or it's going to be a lot of confusions in the relationship. It happens that there is anxious and anxious. The best is to link up avoidant with secure and anxious with secure.
Got it.
Anxious and anxious can exist. There's going to be a lot of work to do. Anxious and avoidant, very hard. Because when the avoidant is going to pull away, the anxious is going to start going crazy and, call the avoidant, check up on him, drive by their house maybe, and completely freak out the avoidant. So they probably never going to see them again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Can you change?
You can.
How does somebody change? What's a step towards that?
Well, first step is to realizing which attachment style you are.
Okay.
And then just having that knowledge and working on it, and just realizing I'm freaking out right now that they didn't call me back because maybe I'm thinking that they are cheating on me. But I know that they are at work, and it's possible that they have a meeting and they can't pick up from me, or they working, or they talk, depending on what kind of job obviously you're doing, right? So just like realization, calming yourself down, and just knowing your attachment style and how you react to certain things is going to help you a lot to understand and sort of keep yourself in check. Like, let's not freak out here, because I'm not going to call somebody 15 times when they are at work. How about I have a discussion with this person, a conversation, and I'll tell them, listen, when I text you, this is, let's talking about anxious and secure, right? So the anxious person has a conversation with the secure person, and can tell them, listen, when I text you and when I call you and you don't pick up right away, or you don't text me back right away, I feel that maybe something is going on. And then when you link with a secure person who understands you, they're not going to run away because they're very secure in themselves, in their feelings, in what they want. They like the steady, rock steady person to be with.
Mm-hmm.
They will understand. They will understand you, and you can talk about it, but also being reassured every time that nothing is happening sort of quiets down the anxiety. So if you don't see for a while that anything is happening, you will start understanding that this is a person that you can rely on, and that person is not going to go, they're not doing anything behind your back. And that calms the anxious attachment style.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yes.
We have a question from one of the listeners right now. They said, can someone with narcissistic tendencies change?
That would be very hard, but I don't think it's impossible. I think there's a lot of therapy involved in that. And first step would be that the person realizes that they have narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to be self-aware. I agree with that.
With every change, you have to come to the self-realization and self-awareness. That's why when I see a lot of women go for a relationship thinking he's gonna change. When we get married, he's gonna change. When we'll have children, he's gonna change.
Yeah.
And it's it breaks my heart, because nobody's gonna change until they want to change, until they realize that them changing is going to give them more than them being the way they are. And very often these people don't change, and the relationship, unfortunately, ends up in a divorce, or just, people can't divorce and they just miserable for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, this has been absolutely great. We have a ton of people watching live still. I would love for you to talk a little bit more. I mean, obviously we're getting a really good idea of what you do and who you help, but who should be reaching out to you? Who do you predominantly work with?
So I work with women only. And I started with working with single women, only single women. But then I've seen me being married and, going through all this that I went through. I've seen that a lot of married women can use coaching help as well. So now I work with both. I work with women any ages, married or single, that need some kind of guidance or help in their relationship, whether to find a relationship because they attract the same men that maybe are not committing to them, the same kind of men, they repeat the same patterns, or women who are in marriage or in a relationship who feel that it's not working for them, maybe, or something, a part is not working in that relationship that they would like to have guidance how to work around and solve. So yeah, all women basically that need help with finding their way to a better relationship, or finding their way to find a relationship.
Beautiful. I'm writing down some of the stuff you're saying. Some of it's so good. I freaking love it. This has been an absolute delight. Where can people find you or follow you if they, want to be in your world and want to join your community?
Yes. So I am on Facebook under LoveGPS, coaching for women on how to have a loving relationship. I have also Facebook, just a regular Facebook page that's just under Marta Laczynski. I am on TikTok under Marta Laczynski _ LoveGPS. And I'm on YouTube under Marta L at LoveGPS. Now, for the people who like a little bit of maybe magic involved in figuring out the love and relationship, I also have an Etsy store that is LoveGPS Spiritual.
Beautiful. Let's put your Insta, because I know a lot of my followers are on Insta. So what is your Insta again, so I can put it on the screen?
My Instagram?
Yeah, the handle.
I don't really have an Instagram. I mean,
I
have Facebook. I have mostly on TikTok and Facebook.
Okay, so what should I put for Facebook?
Facebook, just put LoveGPS.
Is it LoveGPS 1?
No, it's just LoveGPS.
Beautiful.
Coaching for women on how to, because there's LoveGPS, coaching for women on how to have a loving relationship. I am not very, it's a lot of places that I'm on. So Facebook and TikTok, the two biggest ones, I want to say. It's just hard to be on everything at, all the time.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally get it. Yeah, I myself am predominantly just on two. I'm on Facebook and Insta. I think that, talking about marketing a little bit there, I think a lot of that is that propaganda is being pushed on us by people who have help.
Yes.
who have marketers that are
Right,
doing all of that. And, you know,
right.
for us that are, you know,
Much easier.
predominantly, yeah, for those of us that have, you know, 1 or 2 employers or maybe just working by ourselves, to be on 7 platforms is
Yes.
impossible
Yes.
and still run a business. So yeah, that totally makes sense. Well, I so appreciate you being here, hanging out with us. This was absolutely insightful on so many levels. I know the ladies totally enjoyed this. For those of you listening live still or on the replay, if you resonated with Marta and all the goodness that she shared, make sure you connect with her. I have her Facebook here, and she also hangs out on TikTok. Make sure you follow her. We love to connect people here. Any closing thoughts as we wrap up?
I just wanted to let everybody, all the women out there know, in your journey for a relationship or being in a relationship, do not settle. But also do not be stubborn and do not stubbornly just stick to your list. Because I have clients like that, you know, he has to be handsome and he has to be tall and he has to know how to dance and he has to be a good cook. So don't settle. Listen to your gut. Watch out for the red flags. Do the attachment style questionnaire. Contact me. I think there's probably a bunch of online accessible online as well. And do not settle. And also do not wait. I have a lot of women saying, it's gonna come to me. I mean, if you look for a job, right? If you want to change a job, would you say, it's gonna come one day somebody's gonna, you know, approach me and maybe ask me, do you want to make more money? Do you want to have a better job? It's the same thing with relationship. Go for it.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Yeah. That's great. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here, for hanging out with us. That brings us to the end of yet another incredible episode of Her Talk Show. Thank you, Marta, for sharing your wisdom and inspiring us all. To our dedicated listeners, thank you for staying with us into the end. Make sure to follow, like, and share. And once again, I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. I invite you to join our amazing community, Her Nation, where we continue to uplift each other every step of the way. Until next time, do something